You know what? No. I can't come out here and avoid the obvious. The take I had going into SummerSlam turned out to be colder than cold. At WrestleMania 34, going into it, I tweeted out religiously, Roman Reigns will not beat Brock Lesnar. He didn't. And people went, holy crap, Tubby was right. Hashtag the payoff. And then what had happened was SummerSlam happened, and then they did the thing, and then, yeah, I was exposed for the cold take for SummerSlam because I had the same take. Now, I get it. You're going to jump on it. My name is Eric. I believe in writing and payoffs and stuff like that. But if I did get a payoff, it was Becky Lynch, and the fact that for the last year I've heard you guys complain that Becky Lynch wasn't pushed, and then she finally snaps, and then you get the payoff, and then everybody goes, it should have happened sooner. Well, man, Asuka and Charlotte were doing their thing. They didn't have room for her. Like, let's be real here. The struggle made it better. But the fact that Roman Reigns is champion, I did overlook a couple things heading into this match. One of those is Brock Lesnar's legendary reign in the most modern day era of all time. 500 plus days he's now held the title. But he's held the title for over 500 days, but in the background, the guy he beat at Survivor Series has racked up quite a title reign of his own. So when Roman Reigns beats Brock Lesnar, I'll be honest with you, Tubby, where did that take come from? It was horrible. You were wrong, Tubby. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. But let me tell you the reason I truly did believe that Brock Lesnar was going to win. Now, yes, Roman Reigns was 0-3 against him, but I didn't necessarily fully look at the record, although it is true. If he would have won, it's 1-3. You probably have to expect more Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar matches in the future. Then he won. Then the next night on Raw, the Shield comes out and makes the save for Braun Strowman. Now, if you follow a particular person in the internet wrestling community, I'm not going to start a fight with him because he's one of my favorite dudes. He's crushing it with hog wrestling. I think he's living above a gimmick and truly helping change the way things are operated and run. JD would tell you that it's an experiment and it failed with Roman. Well, I heard the pop, and that didn't sound like a failure to me. Whether you truly believe that them just running back to the Shield is lazy booking or trying to get Roman over, it doesn't matter. Your take, my take, it doesn't matter. Because the Shield got the pop, the same way Braun Strowman got the pop, the same way Roman Reigns even got cheered at one point. Finn Balor and Roman Reigns had one hell of a match, and it kept Braun Strowman away, and it keeps heat on Braun Strowman not being able to cash in the Money in the Bank. What is the monster among men willing to do to cash in that briefcase? Now he's got 3 people he's got to worry about. He's got Dean Ambrose, he's got Seth Rollins, and he's got Roman Reigns. If you are trying to build a monster, the same monster that there was rumors and speculations years ago, it was going to be Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. This was something that leaked. And when that leaked, people were like, oh, God, no, please no. Luke Harper versus Brock Lesnar leaked, and people were like, it'd be a good match, but no, God, no, I want this guy instead. But now in the background, you've kind of built this to be a thing. Nobody could beat Brock Lesnar in the last year until Roman Reigns finally did it. Now, I didn't necessarily want him to win at SummerSlam, and the reason I didn't want him to win on SummerSlam is for the simple fact of I wanted Brock Lesnar to truly carry that title into the octagon for UFC. I wanted him to carry it in for a cross promotion between WWE and UFC. But here's what I overlooked. His title reign was already well over 500 days, and there's a guy on Smackdown that has quite a title reign himself, and that, of course, is the phenomenal AJ Styles, Wendy's husband. Why did I call him Wendy's wife? I've done that a lot lately. Wendy's husband is being absolutely demolished right now by the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. So when you look at what's happening over there, and as a back-end story, if you're trying to build up a guy like AJ Styles, who, again, you know, those stories about Vince McMahon finally coming around and loving AJ Styles as a champion, if Brock was to drop the title now, Roman Reigns potentially could carry it all the way to WrestleMania. That absolutely could be a thing. Skybet released the results, and they basically had said Roman Reigns versus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is number 1. That's it. That's the feud. That's the most likely Royal Rumble winner. So now, if that's the case, if Dwayne's going to win, it seems like WWE is doing some long-term booking, and every time I tell people WWE is doing long-term booking, I get told to shut up. But if you go back to everything that's happened in the last 3 years, if you go back to 2015, or even before then with The Rock coming in, raising his arms, you had seen his matches with The Rock where Rock couldn't come back from Hollywood because of insurance reasons. He couldn't actually have a match, except now at his movie premieres and his TV shows, he's basically saying, I can't wait to get back into the ring again. Wow. What bigger payoff than to piss the people off? Because they got pissed when Dwayne did it to the... Yeah, they did get pissed when they did it to John Cena, but you know you cheered for it. You know you love that match. You can pretend to me all you want that you didn't like John Cena versus The Rock, but I know you did. You don't have to lie to me. It's fine. But if John Cena and The Rock is any indication, if Dwayne came back, he's probably going to put over Roman Reigns. Or he could become the new champion and we could have one hell of a crossover. Personally, I was still waiting for Batista to come back due to the whole Guardians of the Galaxy controversy. And not just the controversy, there was an open-ended storyline from 2014 where Triple H told him to go right off to his straight-to-DVD movies. But look what happened to Batista. Wow, Triple H was wrong on that one. There's not very much Triple H is wrong on these days when it comes to booking. And if it is just Vince, I think Triple H has got to have a hand in this, though. I truly believe when you look at Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, as much as I wanted Brock Lesnar to carry that title all the way to the UFC, to get in that octagon with the title around his waist, it would probably piss off UFC fans. If he beat Daniel Cormier for the belt, wow. Could you imagine that sight? UFC and WWE, after all the storylines, Paul Heyman went on air and said he is the only undisputed WWE champion and UFC champion in company history. Yeah. That's why I didn't think Brock Lesnar was going to lose. I'll admit when I'm wrong. That's part of the payoff. Because I overlooked some storylines. I overlooked maybe AJ Styles is going to become the longest reigning champion in WWE modern era. It's an interesting take, isn't it? That'd be kind of crazy to see. AJ Styles becoming the longest reigning champion in modern day WWE history. If that were to happen, that would be phenomenal. But to get there, Roman Reigns, now surrounded by his Shield brethren, kind of puts us in a weird spot. Because there are some people that love the Shield. There are some people that think it's just being used to get Roman over, which I'm going to keep it real with the Chief. Roman's over. I don't know what your definition of over in 2018 is, whether you boo him or you just hear boos and, but he's a good guy, why is he getting booed? And if he turns heel and they're going to start booing him or cheering him, and shut the hell up, in the words of Chris Jericho. Will you please shut the hell up? It doesn't matter until somebody steps up, and I've been saying this for years. If you don't like Roman Reigns being the big dog, somebody got to step up. Whether it's a Stone Cold Steve Austin to The Rock, whether it's a Sting to insert popular WCW superstar here. I'm going to let you figure that one out because there's some controversy on that. Whether it's the option of Samoa Joe chasing down AJ Styles, because I would love to see Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Don't get me wrong. I want to see that for the title. I want to see Samoa Joe be the one to take down Roman. I still want to see Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. So tell me, you're the dumb booker. You're the guy that likes to write and make up stuff and pretend you're right all the time. So what do you think could possibly happen now? Here's what I truly think could happen. As crazy as this sounds. Roman Reigns just beat Brock Lesnar. I think at Survivor Series, we could legitimately have the Shield versus the Club. Now, how do I get there? Is Samoa Joe is absolutely destroying AJ Styles. What is it going to take for AJ Styles to realize he needs some backup? Finn Balor getting costed opportunities. When is he going to step up and stop just smiling all the time? He just brought out the demon, and people said that was a waste of the demon. By the way, will you please? I'm not going to say it again, but just calm down. Let the story evolve. Let things take place. Roman Reigns and the Shield possibly going up against the Club was my booking last year. I had speculated Roman Reigns was going to win the title. The Shield would surround him and protect him all the way to WrestleMania. That was my booking last year. and then Dean Ambrose got hurt. So now my take going into this year was kind of the same thing. But, you know, they did it in reverse. So I still think we could get some sort of match like that. Likewise, they could also transition the title off of Roman Reigns, and you could get something like, what about the Undisputed Era versus The Shield? Wow. That would be amazing. Oh, God, I can't even. Oh, man, if that happens, you saw it here first. I mean, you saw it on my Twitter timeline probably first, because the Twitter timeline is just horrible. At TubbyEmo, if you're not following it. Roman Reigns is your champion, and he's surrounded by the Shield. There's so many possibilities. I can't wait for if they do the champion versus champion match, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles. If you go back to when AJ Styles first joined the WWE, faced Chris Jericho, then he faced Roman Reigns 2 or 3 pay-per-views in a row where he had the help of the club and it did not work. Fast forward 3+ years now, you have the Samoan Submission Machine chasing after AJ Styles. So what happens? Where do we go from here? That's what makes me so excited right now. Take was wrong, and I'm not going to hide from it. I'm not going to pretend like I was wrong, because that's not the case. WWE changes all the time. Now, I'm not going to pull a Meltzer and say plans changed, because I don't think they did. This makes like a perfect logic sense where it would end, especially heading into WrestleMania season in the next couple months. You have Hell in a Cell coming up next. You got WWE Women's Evolution. Then you head into Survivor Series and a couple other pay-per-views right before the Royal Rumble. Whether Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson comes back, whether the club becomes a thing, the only thing that matters to me, and I mean this truthfully, is that the Shield continue their dominance, because I think people still love it. Whether you're complaining on the internet because of Roman and them just bringing it back. Maybe you're just seriously sick and tired of it. I get why you would be sick of it, but I think something epic is coming from Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns reuniting. We have no guarantee they're not going to turn on each other. We have no guarantee we're not going to finally get that triple threat match at WrestleMania, whether it's for the title. Oh, man, for the title at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, for the greatest match of all time, the Shield brethren tearing apart each other from the inside. Man, a lot of things can happen now that Roman Reigns is champion. When Brock Lesnar was champion, you didn't get to see the title. You didn't get to see it show up. You didn't get to see title matches on Raw like Finn Balor and Roman Reigns. The one thing that I want to stress here quite a bit is Roman Reigns is probably going to do more open challenges. He's going to have more title matches. And just because he beats your favorite superstars doesn't mean WWE is burying them, doesn't mean WWE doesn't care. But WWE's got something bigger and better in mind. Now, we may not be fans of that. We may not like Roman. You may love Roman. You may hate Roman. You may despise Roman. You may want Roman to go on to headline WrestleMania again. But the one thing that's certain is there's a reason the big dog's got the title. There's a reason the big dog was chosen. And now's the time to put up or shut up. The title that he has never held, he has. And he had one hell of a match with Finn Balor. So my take was exposed is horrible, cold, rated in the dumps. But now, let's focus on the future. Let's focus on where Roman Reigns will take this company. Yeah, I would love the title on a guy like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, AJ Styles to come over and take it too. But right now, the big dog, it's his yard. And until somebody steps up like Braun Strowman, well, Braun's going to have to go through a wall first. He's going to have to go through the Shield. Can Braun Strowman even cash in? Is that the point? Is the authority surrounding him? Kurt Angle's suspended. Constable Corbin's in control. Just at a time when Roman Reigns became champion. It's kind of ironic. Is the authority protecting Roman Reigns? Is the authority making sure what's happening is best for business? That's where I'm going to leave you on. Until next time, I'm Eric. Sometimes I have hot takes, sometimes I have cold takes. It doesn't matter. I want to suggest going to follow Too Legit on Twitter. I'm going to have a wrestling podcast coming out with sports as well. Myself, Alex Fernandez, Marcus Stevenson, the former community manager of WWE 2K and WWE THQ. So, link is in the description for that. These takes are going to be coming hot and wild, fresh out of the oven, or sometimes going into the freezer. But until next time, I'm Eric. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all later. I'm going to come right at you with the Too Sweet.